In light of the recent news that the Apollo Justice trilogy is being re-released, it's time to solve more crimes. I have played the games before, but only once, and I was 16 at the time. So, more than a decade ago, I only really remember the broad strokes and the circus because that shit was bad. Let's go. Yes. Oh, I already got an achievement, let's go. I'm gonna be real, I think the game looks pretty ugly compared to the originals, but whatever, such is life. Damn it, why me? I can't get caught, not like this. I've gotta find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. As I recall, the first two show you who the culprit was, and then they stop doing that, I think. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hi, Chief. Whew, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. Says a lot about you, and your client as well. Ah, thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. Yeah, I went through all of law school just for that. You mean, you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over. My life. Everything. It's all over. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death! Despair! Oh! I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. Sounds like he wants to die. Well, I don't know about... It sounds like he is planning to, but I don't know if he wants to. Yeah. Nick! Hey. Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell him I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished! I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? A second ago, you said it was you. Oh, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one, so all else is secondary, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm gonna do. Oh god, they look so bad in that shot. Court is now in session for the trial. How did I do it last time? Court is now in session for the trial of Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The, defense is ready, Your Honor. Ahem. Mr. Wright? This is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor, I'm a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness, otherwise known as a tutorial. Yes, Your Honor. Gulp. Hand shaking, eyesight fading, knees weak, mom spaghetti. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. It's me. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Good. Correct. You have basic comprehension. Just keep your wits about you and you'll be fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? Whew, I know this one. Got glad I read over the case report to cover it so many times. Cover to cover so many times. It's... wait. Oh. No. I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank. Phoenix? Are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I just forgot temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press tab anytime to check, okay? Can I push a different button? Can I click down here? Thank God, my keyboard currently doesn't work. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? It's... what is her name? Cindy. I didn't actually read what all of the options were. I think I could have figured it out through process of elimination. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You have answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. Do you know anything about the law? Irrelevant, but you do know the basic details. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you, good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then, first a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was this statue of the thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use tab to check the court record frequently. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. We don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh, Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. Typically, you wouldn't want to put the defendant on the stand, but you know. Ahem. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't they all die? Well, to be fairness, Cleopatra would be dead now regardless. I wasn't dumped. She wasn't taking my phone calls. Or seeing me. Ever. What's it to you anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. Okay. Indeed. She appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude. No way. The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took that money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude. We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. So, kind of irrelevant, pretty rude to just talk about like that, Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right. I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I? Hey, you wanna not do that? My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Oof! Wins. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog, my man. My brother in Christ, I'm begging you not to finish this sentence. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Go. Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did and maybe I didn't. He went. What do I do? Realistically, he's gonna have to answer this question. I know, I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. I was there. I went. Order. Well, Mr. Butts. Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so, I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? I've never heard of this concept before. Could you explain it? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring forth Mr. Frank Saw It to the stand. Mr. Saw It, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh yes, of newspapers, yes. Mr. Saw It, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remembered the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Right, now, baseline truth check here. When did she die? Well, this is a bit of a discrepancy. There's a 3-hour time here, my man. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Except it's, you know... Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sart used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. From noon to 6. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor. All right, Wright, this is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? I'm unfamiliar with the concept. Could you explain? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it right in the witness's smug face. Okay. Open the court record with tab, then point out the contradiction. It's okay, I've already found it. Where we want the time. 1 p.m. Incorrect. Time of death. Present. You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at some time after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sart, why were you so certain you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do to point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one and their whole story falls apart. After about 7 more hours of interrogation. I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television, except there was a blackout running at this time. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. But you see, Mr. Sart, nobody was watching the television. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery, and this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Yeah, The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sart? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Wait, I remember now. Mr. Sart, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. these constant corrections. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawt. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. You see, it's because that's my name. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must be what I saw. Right. Now, I do know. It sounds ludicrous on the face of it, but I do remember this clue. You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine. Gladly. So, of course, he bludgeoned her with a statue, but you see, yes, the murder weapon. You see, it does make sense. Present. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sawt. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne. As the witness statement, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. And it doesn't look like a clock. I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony now? Yes, he couldn't have seen it all the same. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawt, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon just spoke as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face! Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never. Look, the clock, I heard, no, I mean, I saw it. Shut up. I hate you. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her. He should burn. Burn. Give him death. Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Sawt heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear simply if you try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. Ah! As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Saw heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Saw-It, try to talk your way out of this one. You forgot one thing. Uh-oh. What's he talking about now? While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. He's right. How am I gonna prove that? Damn it, I was so close. But she was just out of the country, and she came back. That's why the time is different. It's not because it was running slow, it's because it's been set to the other country's time. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately. This ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Saw-It. I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal? You lawyers are all slime. Grr, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry, I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. I've completely given up. Not so fast, Mr. Saw-It. Mia? I mean, Chief? Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think, Wright, think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow, and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Yes. Wait. Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, Wright. Find it and let him have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. Behold. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't running 3 hours slow. It was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Saw-It, or should I say, Mr. Did It. We killed him. Justice served. Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness, he was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have to say I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly, and find the true culprit at the same time. Your Honor, you flatter me. It's merely the tutorial. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. We did it! We saved the city! And with that, this court is adjourned. It turns out Frank saw it was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sawat let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sawat grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find and suddenly became guilty of a much worse crime than if he had done nothing. Whew, I still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Larry, you're supposed to be happy now. What's wrong? Be grateful. Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no, I mean bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Windy's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was, nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headline now. Harry Butts, innocent. Heh. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner, movie, my treat? Oh, no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the murder weapon? Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you want to just cry? Like this if you cry every time? Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me, it's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right, Wright? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? The statue. Actually, it's their time of death? Perhaps my badge is the thing. I don't really buy into this personally, but you know, whatever. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed the clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. I mean, like, you know, she can have the clock as much as she wants. It's novel. Thing is, she still fucking ghosted him. You know, he still just got fucking just left. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. It would not make me feel better even slightly. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner on me? We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You'll have to tell me more about that sometime. Maybe over drinks. No, we will not elaborate on that until the final trial. And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not gonna pay us, unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I don't know it then, but that clock was soon gonna be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. Oh, wrong way. We did it. Alright, let's go. Tutorial done. I would like to save. Yes, right there.